What's up, world?
I just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
They
Insert here.
Yo.
It's a terrible game. Bottom line. It's terrible in every way. Graphically, it's terrible. Gameplay is terrible. It's just terrible.
Angry Nick mad.
That game sucked, and it's gonna suck no matter how many revisions they make, and it just sucked even more because they put a Kinect with it.
Angry Nick mad. Or if there's violence, I'll just laugh and enjoy the fun.
Kaz Hazari.
Kaz Harai.
They just kind of got tired of Angry Nick on the first one and say, I'm going to pass.
Oh, yeah, so I do. Precisely.
No.
I
No.
do all my work.
No.
And
You guys are
unfortunately,
so
I don't.
cute.
Oh, thank you. I try.
I mean, let's face it, Mario and to a lesser extent Zelda is what carries Nintendo at this point.
Always be radical.
I love you, little podcast. You're the bestest thing ever.
For the promise of a new Super Smash Bros. And the Zelda game, yes.
You will not find a better story presented in any other game genre, in my personal opinion. Like, JRPGs have that. They have that story.
That's what the entire game felt like. Oh my god, I want to bang my head into a wall.
It's a podcast again? Can someone remind me? I thought it was a video game podcast.
You're listening to the Game Source Podcast.
We are live once again. It is the Game Source Podcast number 147, getting closer to 150. This is Gerald Glassford from YourGameSource.com, the NU Herald, and Pop Culture Cosmos, along with my good friend, the author of Vendetta Dark, our comic book expert, and all-around pop culture know-it-all. He is the man, the myth, the legend. He is Josh Peterson. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you on. You just told me before we came on that you've got Battleborn all ready to go. So look out there. There you go. Battleborn right there in a nutshell. Like I said, a very highly reviewed game. Just looking forward to, I'm sure, do you get your sink your teeth into that as far as it's concerned, and I know good things are going forward for that. But we are here today to talk some interesting things that went on with Comic-Con last weekend. It was actually a pretty good weekend for comic book fans from both the DC and Marvel Universe, plus some other tidbits, as always, that comes out of Comic-Con. So before I get into as far as a detailed synopsis of what Comic-Con was all about, were there anything that in mind that stuck out to you? Because I noticed you were sending out some thoughts via social media on some stuff that stuck out to you from Comic-Con.
Yeah, I was King Arthur, Guy Ritchie's new King Arthur movie. I know that has nothing to do with comic books, but man, that looks fantastic. Just the way that the cameras are set up and the filming style. It's got that fast-talking dialogue, the quick action scenes. I'm thoroughly excited about that. And also, the Justice League Dark, the animated film, they have the voice talent. I know we were talking about Constantine last week.
Yes.
They got the voice talent of Matt Ryan to play Constantine, so that is something else I'm looking forward to, because that, that comic book always kind of gets, nobody really knows about it, so it's nice that it's getting some momentum here.
Absolutely, and if somebody wants to go out and check out a little bit more about that, I know I made a post on our Pop Culture Cosmos page, Pop Culture Cosmo on Facebook, Pop Culture Cosmos on Facebook. So I made a little comment on that, like you said, confirming as far as it's concerned the presence of Constantine in the Justice League Dark video. So definitely looking forward to that. I guess a lot of eyes were looking at Comic-Con as far as what's coming out of there from a Warner Brothers standpoint. I think it was more crucial to Warner Brothers as far as what they wanted to get accomplished, more so than anybody. I mean, we've all know Marvel right now is doing very well from both a TV and film standpoint. So, really anything that they introduced was going to be gravy as far as it's concerned. But Warner Brothers, with the tenuous release of Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, was really just kind of up in the air, so to speak, as far as where they were going to go. I know there was a lot of high hopes for Suicide Squad, and there still is. Looks like it's going to be targeting right around $100 million as far as an opening weekend, which is going to be very strong for them. The issues were that was beyond with some of their stuff that's going on with the new Justice League film, making some changes, and obviously as well the Wonder Woman movie coming out as well in the future. And I want to tell you something, especially the Wonder Woman movie is really looking awesomely good, looking very interesting. My girls are already excited to go see it. Justice League showed a little bit lighter humor, although I just can't get over Ben Affleck is really just way too gruff. Even in as far as Bruce Wayne is concerned, he's is it me or is seeing from the other?
I agree with you. He seems like he's putting himself too much into the part. Like he's taking a serious character and he's taking it too seriously, if that makes sense.
And I don't mind when he gets in the gruff voice when he puts on the cape. That's fine. I have no issues with that. It's when he's out of the cape and he literally sounds like the same individual and he's just so gruff. It's just so far removed from him as an individual. I think, the predecessors, for the most part, that played him, they had a different dichotomy as far as when they were Bruce Wayne and when they were Batman. As far as the way they even sounded, it just sounded like it was a nice dichotomy because of such, obviously we've talked about in the past, and obviously the aura around Batman is the fact that there's just so many things going on between the constant battle between Bruce Wayne and Batman, the personas itself, that they should sound so different. But in this case, it just doesn't sound like very much of a difference at all. Even when he's trying to provide light humor, as he did in the Justice League trailer, which, by the way, all the trailers from Comic-Con you can also, again, catch on our Pop Culture Cosmos Facebook site. So if you missed anything at all, just scroll down. You'll be able to see it. You'll be able to catch all the different trailers from both TV and film as far as that was released out there. You'll be able to check it out. But your thoughts, again, on Batman, Josh, as far as, him evolving with, because obviously it's going to lead into another Batman film with Ben Affleck directing and all that. Do you think it's still continued good step forward for Warner Brothers?
Honestly, at this point, I don't think Warner Brothers really knows what they want because, like you said, there's a lot of controversy surrounding Batman versus Superman. They wanted the tone to be dark, and then people were saying they didn't like the darkness, and then people said there's a lot of controversy around Ben Affleck, and people said they took the part too far. And even with in Batman versus Superman, originally the original cut revolved more around Superman than it did Batman, but WB and Hollywood in general has this obsession with Batman, so he's a really, to them, he's a pivotal character. So they have to do him right, or else people aren't going to want to keep going back to it. Like personally, right now, I'm not excited about another Batman movie. I could care less. But maybe if they show me something I haven't seen before, and Ben Affleck can kind of ease into his role a little better, then I might change my tone there.
I just think it comes down to a issue of dollars and cents. I think if you and I are running the film industry, let's say we're running Warner Brothers, and we've seen a better track history of success financially with Batman as opposed to Superman. Now, obviously, when it comes down to it, if you and I were to sit down and watch the Superman films versus the Batman films put together, obviously from a quality standpoint, the Batman films are as a collective whole, are far superior. And as far as it's concerned, so I think that has more than a little bit to do with it. But I could see that's why the studio was more interested in, as far as leaning towards the Batman side. As far as Justice League as a whole, from what I saw, as far as the trailer is concerned, it's okay. It's a decent step forward. Again, people are comparing there's a Flash sequence in there to the Spider-Man sequence in meeting Tony Stark in Captain America Civil War. That's very reminiscent of that. So again, are they stepping? Are they treading the same ground as Marvel has done once before? Possibly, but having the Justice League together may be a step in the right direction for this franchise. But I can tell you, at least as far as from a singular aspect, the Wonder Woman trailer was very promising. A lot of good vibes coming from all over the media, the internet, and social media as far as it's concerned. Very, very strong positive feelings coming from that, and I look forward to that. And that could do very, very good business once that comes out. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think it looks amazing. I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting some kind of, really just not that gritty type of movie when they say, because that, your expectations of Wonder Woman are kind of cheesy compared to, because of what's been done with her in the past. But
and also the fact that you already know what essentially you already know what happens is because she's already in the present day here. This so basically just tells you about a story about her past, as far as the inception, how she started interacting with us in the mortal realm.
Correct, yeah, and it's an interesting story. Like she's like Marvel. If you took Captain America and Thor and put them in the same character and in the body of a female, you'd have Wonder Woman, and I find that fascinating, honestly.
As do I. I think looks like it's going to be a very, very strong outing when it comes to theaters next year. Obviously, we'll deal with Chris Pine as far as here in a little bit, because I know he has another movie that I saw recently, but I know his performance, what I saw in the trailer, looks to be pretty good as far as from the old Steve Trevor aspect. A little bit different variation on, like you said, what has been presented before in the Wonder Woman realm. So, but we also got a lot of stuff that came out from Marvel, including new TV shows, as far as also as well a huge look at Doctor Strange, which I know a lot of people are now finally on board with as far as it's concerned, because it looked like Inception multiplied by the 10th degree as far as it's concerned. But your thoughts on what Marvel presented as far as from the TV shows, the Luke Cage, as far as it's concerned, some the other shows that were presented, and also from the aspect of Doctor Strange going forward?
Yeah, I noticed that people got really excited over little snippets that didn't really show anything. Like, yeah, it's cool that these things are coming out, but like you have, like the Defenders, for example, it was just a trailer that showed like the separate letters of each of the shows. Everyone was really excited about it, but we already know it exists and we know that's coming. So it's just, I wish they would have shown us a little bit, just maybe a little taste, little tiny taste of that. But yeah, they have a lot of exciting announcements. Daredevil season 3, Luke Cage is well on its way. Iron Fist looks interesting. Doctor Strange looks really cool. I've been waiting for a Marvel movie to kind of change things up a little bit for a while. And the idea of the concept of putting Ghost Rider and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really has me intrigued.
But also as well, Legion. So that was probably the thing that stuck out to me, was a new deal as far as Marvel Association for a project that's going on to not Netflix. It's going on to FX Network coming, I believe, in January. It's called Legion. I don't know if you got a chance to see the trailer for that one, which we actually, again, like I said, posted on our Pop Culture Cosmos page on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for Legion. I know in the comic books that character is supposed to be Professor Xavier's son, but I couldn't find anything online about this. Is the character in Legion, is he tied to the Marvel Cinematic Universe at all?
It was very vague, and obviously what the reports were and the press releases were meant to be very vague. I didn't get, like you, I didn't get much on it as well, and how much are they staying to the source material. So I believe in the coming months we'll probably hear and read more about it. But yes, I did not get as much as I would like on that realm. as in regards to Legion. It just from a visual standpoint, it looks interesting, and just the fact that like I said, that FX has produced some in the recent times some really well structured television series. They've not been afraid to go that extra mile, to go the lengths that some of the other channels, like let's say Hulu, Amazon Prime, Netflix, they're able to push those boundaries a little bit more than on commercial television. And here we have FX, who's pushed some boundaries themselves in recent years. They are going to be even more so with an alliance with Marvel, even if it's just in a smaller form.
Yeah, correct. I mean, honestly, like if Legion wasn't connected to the Marvel universe, I feel like it'd kind of be a waste of time. But or maybe even if they connected to the X-Men movies, that'd be cool too. But
and that may be an eventual goal, because obviously, it's FX, 20th Century Fox, right there. You have that natural connection which could take place over the course of time, and maybe that's what they're leading up to. At least while they have that license, they're trying to use it. And in this case, it's more of a, like you and I have been surmising, it's more in a subtle fashion, so to speak.
yeah. So I mean, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But it's still, it looks like an interesting show.
Now I want to talk to you about Doctor Strange. Like I said, it looked like Inception multiplied to the nth degree. And looks much more promising than what the original trailer showed. Your thoughts on Doctor Strange, and what does it have to do to become successful? Because I was talking to the other day to someone, and we after seeing it, we were talking about if it does Ant-Man numbers, because it didn't have the hype and the buzz going in that some of the other Marvel standalone films have had. Is it, we're looking at Ant-Man numbers to make sure it might meet that realm, because in the recent past, I say Black Panther movie, that has a little bit stronger buzz. There's Captain Marvel. Obviously, they announced Captain Marvel as far as is concerned, going forward with the announcement of who the actress is going to be, and all that. That seems to have a little bit better buzz at the time than Doctor Strange at given various points of time. And also the placement of November 4th, is Ant-Man numbers realistic, or do you see something more?
I hope it's more than Ant-Man numbers. This is the thing about modern audiences. Like, they're so used to, they know what they want. They want explosions. They want Robert Downey Jr. They want fast quips. But I don't think Doctor Strange is really going to offer them that. But what they don't know is that he is such a pivotal character in the Marvel universe at large that he's tied into a whole lot of stories, but nobody really knows who he is. But it's just, if you look at the visuals, I mean, that movie looks like it's probably crazy expensive to make, but that he's got such a dark history, and he's it's a great story. Just I hope that people will give it a chance, even though it's not going to have, epic fight scenes and explosions and all the stuff they're used to. But I think people need to, with a different kind of story like that, people need to kind of not have such high expectations and then go in and come out being pleasantly surprised about it.
And I agree with you on that. I mean, it doesn't need to meet, well, just looking at the box office numbers, Ant-Man grossed just a little bit over $500 million worldwide. It grossed under $200 million here in the States, which I think a lot of people have a tendency to look at. But worldwide, it grossed over $500 million. So that's not bad. That's pretty good for as far as a general movie is concerned. But when it comes to Marvel movies, is Marvel looking more as far as when they're looking at these standalone movies, are they looking more as far as they need them to be hits, or are they just needing them to be pieces to a puzzle for a larger entity, such as, when the Infinity Wars come around?
Yeah, well, Marvel's got this all mapped out pretty well, and at this point, I don't think it really matters if it's a hit. Yeah, if it makes money, that's good, but they really need to put these pieces out before they can get to the greater story. Yeah, like I said, like Doctor Strange, he's a big part of that story, and Spider-Man, Black Panther, Miss Marvel. the place that they're trying to get to, they need to have all these little pieces laid out. So it's a risk on their part, but I think in the end it's going to pay off because there are a lot of really great stories to tell.
Indeed, indeed there is. Now, as far as is concerned, Comic-Con to me was still strong as ever. I know we had a couple individuals that we know, or as far as is concerned, that have worked for game stores that were down there. They got to experience it firsthand. Just still cosplay is as fun as ever. If you want to check that out, we also have photos up on our Pop Culture Cosmos page at Facebook, and you want to take a look at that. Anything from Comic-Con that we were able to get our hands on, we posted right there for you. The other big news recently is Eurogamer. Got to give them props. Eurogamer actually released some information and a report on rumors that were highly speculative, but also that they got the inside scoop on what the Nintendo X is going to be all about. It has cartridges, so we're going back into the cartridge era, and that it is also going to be a portable concept, which you and I had speculated and then known for some time as far as rumors concerned that the portability was going to be something that Nintendo was strongly going to be dealing with when it comes to the Nintendo NX, but also the fact that the cartridge issue was like back and forth as far as rumors concerned, and then also that the unit itself, which is not so surprising seeing as how it's going to be portable, but that it will not be as powerful as the PlayStation 4. And if that's the case, even though it is powered by, most likely rumored to be an NVIDIA chip, what are your thoughts as far as it's concerned, as far as does this interest you, or do you need something more from Nintendo at this point in time?
When I heard it, for me, I'll believe it when I see it. The whole cartridge thing. I know. I don't see them putting out the kind of games that they need to compete in the modern console market and have them be on cartridges. Really, because you need a lot of power a lot like the PlayStation 4, Xbox One. They have separate power sources now because they need that extra bit of oomph to get their games, looking the way they need to. For me, I've never been that excited about Nintendo. If they're going to go back to cartridges, I don't see why they don't just make a new handheld console.
Well, I think obviously the idea behind the cartridges is twofold. Obviously, to gain that retro type feel from one of their best periods of success in the 1990s and also the 80s, of course. But also as well, the fact that the cartridges, I don't know as far as if it does come to fruition, how much as far as the memory can hold and whatnot. I do know that cartridges, when you put them in a system, if you do not using hard drive space, it will load faster than a disc. I do know that's going to be the case when it comes to a cartridge, because that was always the parameter between cartridges and discs, is that obviously it takes a little bit more time on disc, whatnot, but then there's a cost issue that favors disc. Personally, I'm not sold on it myself as from a cartridge standpoint. I'm hopeful that the Nintendo NX will be something that gamers can get behind. I'm really looking forward to seeing what there is. It is going to be a portable option, so I don't know how that's going to be incorporated. How portable it is, as far as can you take it out, walk around, go travel, whatnot? Will it do a remote play like PS4? But even in the mobile standpoint, as far as it's concerned, with people's smartphones these days, how is it going to compete with that as far as it's concerned? Because Nintendo has lost a lot of its mobile sharing as far as it's concerned, from the 3DS and 2DS, whatnot, simply because of the fact that these have become more powerful, these have become more accessible, and these smartphones, for those that are listening, are now, for most people, and tablets too to an extent, for most people are a better way of mobile gaming than what they had before. So I ask you on this realm, as far as the portability is concerned, should they have relied more on the portability, or should they have tried to put more into the actual processing unit itself to make it more powerful than the Xbox One or PS4 from that standpoint. And the reason why I say that is because Xbox One, they've announced at E3 that at the end of next year, they're going to have whatever Project Scorpio eventually will be called, which will actually be a more powerful system.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the ultimate goal for Microsoft, Sony. They want a powerful system that'll put out, show us almost real life video games. And if Nintendo's trying to compete in the modern console market, that should be the focus for them. I mean, they shouldn't be making any like really risky moves right now, because as far as consoles go, they're already kind of teetering on the edge there. I mean, that just might be my opinion though.
No, I agree with you as well, because you and I surmised even that possibly it might be in their best interest to just transfer and evolve into maybe what something that Sega had wished they had done. Like I said on last podcast, as far as from a licensing standpoint, and just go into the software realm, because I think they would be very, very successful publishing as a publisher on different consoles and also on mobile. As you can see with Nintendo Go, even though they're only getting now that we have found out more, that they're only getting a certain amount from their licensing deal because they didn't develop it. Niantic did, and Niantic is going to take the bulk of that. And unfortunately, upon those words, Nintendo's stock, which had gone up huge, has gone back down. But that being said, I think this is a big gamble, the NX as a whole. But I'm eager to see what they're going to do. I'm eager to see how they're going to be able to incorporate that. Is it going to be something that people are going to get behind? Maybe. And the cartridge deal, as funny as it sounds, is a different slant in today's gaming world. So maybe different is better in this case.
Yeah, people like retro. I mean, that's the thing now. So we'll. I can't really say anything more about it unless I want to see it. I want to see it in action. I want to see what it looks like. I want to know, am I going to have to pull the cartridges out and blow on them like I did when I was a kid? I want to know more about it. It's still a mystery.
I remember that all too well. Yes. It had a 50% ratio for me as far as getting it to work, but. And you and I also saw a couple movies as far as it's concerned. We've kept active on the entertainment scene. I know as far as what we've been watching from this latest year's summer blockbusters. I know, look forward to Jason Bourne. I hopefully will have a review on that in the near future if I'm able to see it. I'd love to see it if I get a chance. But also I've seen Ghostbusters and Star Trek Beyond, and I know you've seen Ghostbusters too. Star Trek Beyond, for those who have not seen as yet, it is the #1 movie right now this weekend. It is for all intents and purposes, it's a good movie. Struggles in the first half to get going, but once it does, it really does come to a good climax as far as it's concerned. A strong ending. Usually, when it comes to the Star Trek universe, they see at some point in time the characters have these things that come into their lives, these events that maybe not will have them maybe stray their thoughts away from committing themselves to their duties on the Enterprise. And in this movie, it starts off like that. But they're 3+ years into their 5-year mission. Obviously, they're getting burnt out a little bit, but leave it to the wonders of skillful screenwriting for them to find a way to get themselves back into the groove after getting stranded on a planet with an evil alien played by Idris Elba. Basically, just try to see what he can do to dominate not only that planet, but also go after a well-beloved and harmonious location for Star Trek Federation. I won't go more into detail spoilers as far as it's concerned, but Anyways, are his evil plans foiled? Well, you got to watch the movie to find out for sure. But it does, like I said, close out strongly in its second half of the film. The first half is a little bit slow to get started, but otherwise, like I said, it's a pretty good output from the guys and gals at Star Trek. So, like I said, it gets a pretty good thumbs up for me. Ghostbusters, though, I'll let you start off, Josh, on Ghostbusters as far as it's concerned, because I have my own thoughts from my own watching as far as, well, Ghostbusters.
Okay, Ghostbusters, I didn't really like it up until the end, like when they had all the ghosts running around the city. I thought the visuals were cool. They, you know, they had the different the colors on them and the particles drifting off of them. I thought that was really rad. But the rest of the movie, it wasn't what I was looking for. I watch it and I thought to myself, it didn't ruin the old Ghostbusters, but at the same time, there were so many like call outs to the old Ghostbuster movies and so many like just so much fan service that I wondered, why did they even make this movie? Like, it's not, and in this universe, the old Ghostbusters don't even exist, but it's the way that it was written. It relied so heavily on, references to the old Ghostbusters. I don't even know, if you're not going to make something that stands on its own, why bother making it,
Well, the cameos that were made by almost every Ghostbusters star except for Rick Moranis, for the most part, fell flat. There were a couple instances where they were okay and permissible and helped the actual movie as a whole, but for the most part, several were extremely disappointing and seemed to be shoehorned into the actual movie itself. So that was kind of a disappointment, first off. Second is, as far as having the all-female cast, I don't think that should be an issue. I think what should be an issue is that the writing itself was not as well done, and that this all-female crew should have gotten a better script to work off of, because I really think there were some points in time where the dialogue really set things back as far as from a flow standpoint. I do think that Leslie Jones, who has gotten a tremendous amount of negative reaction and just negative feedback on Twitter and whatnot on the social media, is not deserving of it, because I think she's far and away the best thing about the movie and the most entertaining thing about the movie, because as a whole, the movie for me was a disappointing experience. And I, there's just so many things to say. I just think Melissa McCarthy in that ensemble was basically miscast. I think she's better off on her own when she stands out and she's able to break out a little bit more. Her and Kristen Wiig, the dialogue back together as friends and whatnot, just seemed to really just not, their interplay with each other did not seem as all very convincing to the audience, or myself included. And you said the special effects for you were very good. I thought the special effects were okay for me. The points in time where I see them green screening, as I call it, where you can actually tell 100% that they're standing in somewhere, that within a confined space near the end. I kind of took issue with, as far as it's concerned, that they could have blended in a little bit better, because that technology, I believe, is there that makes it look better. Chris Hemsworth, I think he tried very hard in the movie. His character Kevin, I think was okay in parts. I just think he wasn't just given enough to do. And then like the whole plot itself was standard run-of-the-mill Ghostbuster stuff as far as it's concerned, but the side performances as well were absolutely atrocious. Andy Garcia and some other key notable characterizations as far as it's concerned that were from a co-starring standpoint were just atrocious and just really detracted from the film. And like I said, they shoehorned quite a bit of the flashbacks and callbacks to the original Ghostbusters. Some were well done, but for the most part, they were very disappointing. And that just as a whole ensemble was really just not the Ghostbusters film I was looking forward to. and hopefully Sony is committed 100% behind it. So I'm hoping that they'll do better the next time around.
Yeah, it felt like it wasn't really going anywhere. It felt, it's kind of like the second Ghostbusters. All the ghosts have escaped. They're taking over the city. We've seen it before. I wonder why they felt the need to make it. I get that
and they keep invading New York. How many times can they invade New York? Is there any other city that has ghosts? I mean, could you really have put this in a bit different realm? Maybe it would have worked. Maybe it would have worked better if it'd been in a different city or in a different country per se. That would have been kind of a cool concept to do.
Yeah, and the whole thing with like the mayor and his assistant trying to cover it up, I think they were really reaching for a joke there that wasn't funny, and then they took it and they kept running with it despite the fact that it wasn't funny.
Well, that really was a big downer for me because Andy Garcia and the actress escapes me who played the assistant. Those were some really bad performances, and just I know that those two actors are capable of better. I've seen it better from them, and it just, like you said, I think a lot of it lends to the writing, which was just not up to snuff for the entire encompassing movie throughout. With the only, like I said, the only caveat is Leslie Jones and her fine performance. I just really think she was the only thing at times to keep me interested in the movie as a whole.
Yeah, right. It was. I don't even know how to describe it. It wasn't like I didn't come out going, "Oh, that movie was awful," but at the same time, if I would have known what was in it, I probably wouldn't have bothered watching it.
Same here, or gone to watch it on video or whatnot, a video format when it hits home.
Yeah.
But that being the case, like I said, if you get a chance, Star Trek Beyond kind of thumbs up, and Ghostbusters kind of thumbs down. But hoping for better for both series. I know that both have announced plans that they will be developing more movies in the future, so we're hopeful of that. So finally, want to get down to a last part of our podcast here, and that's our thoughts on a couple games that we think we're looking forward to, that we think will do well, or that we're looking forward to in rest of 2016 and this fall, because we are right around the corner from it. We're heading into August. The games start coming out hot and heavy with Madden, No Man's Sky, and so many others. Deus Ex, as far as it's concerned, that latest iteration of that series is coming out as well. So tell me, Josh, what games appeal to you that's coming out, or at least scheduled to come out this year?
Deus Ex, BioShock, the collection. I'm excited about going back to Rapture. I know I shouldn't be looking forward to it, but I am looking forward to the Skyrim remaster, despite how many hours of my life I lost to the first one. Yeah, that's. I'm gonna buy that.
Still would like Oblivion on a personal level, because I enjoyed that more than Skyrim. 100 and some odd hours compared to 40, but that's just me. Any time to go back to the Elder Scrolls as far as universe, that's fine by me.
Yeah, and with this one, at least I know like what I can and can't do, because I had a problem with the last one where I couldn't finish certain parts of the game because the dragons kept eating the NPCs, and it would keep me from from finishing the game. So now I know like what parts I could go to, but it's just the hours that I'm gonna lose.
And that's the same thing. And that's the same thing. I'm sorry. And that's the same thing with me with Skyrim. I got stuck somewhere and couldn't get out of it, and I auto-saved too far right into it. So at that point, you just got to leave it. So hopefully, like I said, maybe this time around it'll be a better experience for me as well. Looking forward to that. But anything else meeting your fancy as far as that's coming out in the rest of 2016?
Final Fantasy. I've been waiting on that one for a while. I'm trying to think what else is coming out. I know there's Watch Dogs. on the fence about. I'll play it, but I don't, just for something to do probably. Yeah, that's really all I can think of right now. I'm sure there's others I'm forgetting, but those are the ones I'm excited to play.
Well, for me, I think it comes down to No Man's Sky. Something I really want to delve into to see if there is something in that universe that will keep people interested in. I also know as well the Call of Duty Modern Warfare remaster. I'm looking forward to that to see how much better it can look and if I can, enjoy again like you're looking forward to with the BioShock experience and the Skyrim experience. Can you enjoy that experience of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare, especially seeing how far the Call of Duty series has evolved since then? And then, well, you know what? I'm going to say it. Last but not least, The Last Guardian, because it's, what can you say? It's 10 years. It's 10 years of development, 10 years of possible delays after delays after delays. After being a running joke in the industry for so many years, it will finally come out. And you want to see if there's an actual game that you can get involved with. Obviously, it's not going to meet anyone's expectations for being a game that's been in development for literally 10 years. There's no way it could ever match those expectations. But is it going to be a good game on its own merits? And that's what I want to know, and that's what I want to find out.
Yeah, The Last Guardian. I kind of lost hope that game was ever going to come out, and now it's finally coming out. So I'm gonna have to go out and buy a PlayStation just to play it. But the graphics look fantastic. It looks beautiful.
That they do indeed. The game looks great, but it reminds me of just when you go by a car crash, you just got to see it. And in the case of Last Guardian for gaming fans, you got to see, okay, what was Sony thinking about keeping this game in development all those years? What was was the end result anywhere near to what they could have hoped? And we're going to find out. The game's never going to make a profit substantial enough to justify its long development cycle. We know that. Everyone knows that. But will it be a game that, like I said, stands up on its own merits? I hope so. Because, like I said, certainly the long-suffering fans who waited year after year to see, just even get a glimpse of news in regards to this game deserve it, and deserve it in spades. So that's what we're looking forward to for this year. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this week, or this podcast right here. If you get a chance, check us out. Again, Pop Culture Cosmos on Facebook, Game Source on Facebook. Also as well, our good friends at give them a shout out, Mario Party Wars on Facebook. If you get a chance and you're really into the Mario Party scene, give them a holler. There's some great guys and gals there, and they deserve all the love and whatnot. Our good friends at Retro City Games, give a shout out to Doug and Nicole. Rob McCallum, who's hard at work on the He-Man documentary and was doing some interviewing today in Southern California, I believe. Got to give a shout out to him and all his projects, including Box Art, the documentary, which he's also working on as well. Just so happy that he has all those projects on the queue. But and what are you working on right now, Josh? I know you got, like I said, Vendetta Dark is available, and I know you mentioned as far as is concerned what you got cooking up as far as what people can get interested in from your writing realm, with Congratulations You Suck coming up as well, correct?
Correct. So that I'm hoping to have that out September or October at the latest. I've been talking about it for so long. It's just find time to sit down and finish it up. Yeah, that's and there's more Center Space coming. If that was something that you read, I don't think a lot of people know about that. So that'd be another thing you can check out.
And that's always a good thing. Like I said, you had gone previously in detail regarding Center Space, so they can check that out. And then I remember seeing the original posting of Congratulations You Suck, and I was you had me hooked right there from right there. You had me hooked. So it was good to see you working on that realm. I'm glad you got some projects in the fire right there. hopeful for some good things. And then, like I said, you got some time going into the Battleborn realm as well. So look out for him, Josh, on Battleborn on the Xbox One. Hit him up with a friend request or a challenge or whatnot, and I'm sure he'll answer the call, so to speak.
You bet.
All right. So that's it for this time on the Game Source Podcast. Hopefully, we will also be able to put this as well on the NU Herald audio channels on podcast.com. And then also check us out. If you have iTunes, you can subscribe to us. We're on Game Source Podcast. You'll see us right there on the iTunes beloved network. So give us a basic love, hi, how are you, by just downloading it. If you subscribe to it, it automatically downloads as soon as it goes up on the air. So if you're in iTunes, awesome. If you're not, you got podcast.com. You can always, you can even always, as always, download it off our site at yourgamesource.com as well. So we give you a lot of options, YouTube, what have you. We're here for you. So for Josh Peterson, the author of Vendetta Dark, and Congratulations, You Suck, I'm Gerald Glassford for yourgamesource.com, Game Source, and Pop Culture Cosmos, and the NU Herald. Whew, that's a lot to say. It's another beautiful day in paradise, and here's hoping you have yourselves a great day.
Do you love games, breed games, and bleed games? Then this is the crew for you. If you are interested in editorial, podcasting, live events, and exclusive content, make sure to hit us up at info@yourgamesource.com and become part of a team that is dedicated to delivering all the greatest and latest in gaming news and content, all here at yourgamesource.com.